Greg, hold on a second, because I've got another story that's breaking here, which I think is frankly just as important. It's coming to us from the American Center for Law and Justice. Now, under the Freedom of Information Act, this group asked the FBI for any documents related to the Clinton-Loretta Lynch tarmac meeting. Remember that, right before the election? At the time, the FBI, then under the direction of James Comey, said they didn't have any documents. But documents received today include several emails between the FBI and the Department of Justice related to that tarmac meeting. Have you gone through this story yet?
I have. I'm not finished, but okay. It doesn't look good for James Comey and the FBI.
Okay. What they're saying is that there is documentation about that meeting.
Well,
Comey said there was no documentation. Let's not get into the weeds too much here.
No, it's about the FBI's response and how the talking points, how they're going to handle talking about that meeting. The big bombshell in this is the Washington Post reporter saying, I am hoping to I can put it to rest. A New York Times reporter apologetically says he was being pressed into service to have to cover the story. And an ABC producer, a story was breaking. The DOJ press official says, I talked to the ABC producer. He's not interested in covering it, even if Fox goes with it.
So this collusion there.
This is collusion between reporters,
media.
Specifically the Washington Post,
New York Times.
Specifically the Washington Post, and the Department of Justice.
And other
collusion.
media.
Basically being told to bury the story, exactly. Push it away.
Now, you know, let me just say, as I've said, collusion by itself is only a crime in antitrust. However, this is, if true and proven, blatant dishonesty on the part of the media.
Okay, let's backtrack a second. On the tarmac, and I believe it was in Phoenix, Arizona, the Attorney General of the United States, Loretta Lynch, at that time, was on her private jet, and along came Bill Clinton. The two had a meeting on the tarmac in Loretta Lynch's jet.
Right.
And they said that it was a 40-minute meeting. They said that they discussed grandchildren and golf, as I recall.
Yeah.
And this was at a time
when Lynch's department was investigating Hillary Clinton.
That's right.
Well, the House Judiciary Committee doesn't believe it, which is why last week they sent a letter signed by 20 members on the Judiciary Committee demanding that a second special counsel be appointed to investigate Lynch and Comey and Hillary Clinton, and all of it wrapped around this and many other contacts between the three.
What I'm picking up on here is the Washington Post. It is the Washington Post which, I believe late yesterday, put out the transcript of the phone conversations between our president and the leader of Mexico and our president and the leader of Australia. That's something you really should not be doing, in my personal opinion. Now we've got an accusation of collusion between a Washington Post reporter and the Department of Justice over the meeting, which they didn't want to have acknowledged, between Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton.
And here's the thing with this. I mean, this is the FBI under Director James Comey saying we have no records of our talking point discussion or anything about how we're going to handle this, talking about this meeting. There were records about it. And remember, James Comey said it was this very meeting, which is why he held that very public press conference. It was the impetus behind him making that public press conference about what he was going to do with the Hillary Clinton probe.
I believe we have Judge